Exercise can be done in a healthy way when it's moderate, mindful, and attuned to what your body really needs and wants to do. When it's done in a healthy way, it can really help boost respiratory and cardiovascular health. It can improve digestion and cognitive function. It can help increase mood, help alleviate depressive symptoms, as well increase the well-being of the person involved in the activity. Healthy exercise also doesn't have the emphasis on calories burned or how long or how intense, how often, and it normally isn't always connected just to weight loss. In fact, it's more about the body moving and being mobile and the overall health of the total body, not just certain parts. It can become unhealthy, however, when someone turns it more into an obsessive, excessive, or compulsive behavior. They feel compelled to have to exercise. They're avoiding situations with family and friends to exercise. They're going above and beyond their normal training hours. In the case of athletes, for example, they might do extra activity on top of their training during the day, or when they're supposed to take off days, they might go do extra runs or do other activities in the gym just to keep their bodies going. The problem with that, however, is there tends to be increased risk of stress fractures, decreased immunity, increased risk of illness. There's also the depressive mood and irritability that might come on board. There also might be decreased performance where the athlete might actually think they're improving their performance. However, the body is so deprived of energy that it's not able to do what it used to be able to do. Increased sick days are a possibility, but that doesn't matter to someone with compulsive exercise. They're going to still go out there and run in the rain and do rollerblading when their body is telling them not to. They just at that point aren't caring about how the body's communicating to them. They just want to exercise and they want to burn the calories, and it becomes more about the body's aesthetics as opposed to the body's health. The athletes that tend to be the highest risk and most vulnerable to an eating disorder are those who are in sports that have a high emphasis on weight, appearance, and especially those that are wearing tight-fitting uniforms. Dancers, gymnasts, for example, as well as wrestlers and even jockeys will use bulimic behaviors in order to stay smaller or lighter to be on their horses. The problem with that then becomes the actual training for the sports, where dieting behaviors, or not necessarily over-exercising, but going to extremes in their training in order to try and increase their performance, or at least gives the illusion increasing their performance, can actually be the bud of an eating disorder happening, because it becomes then more of a compulsion and more about the leanness of the body and the smallness of the body, and not so much about their actual sport at that time. They may find that their performance actually decreases, and then they're down a spiral that they just can't get out of. Recovery goals for anybody with an eating disorder are going to be pretty specific. However, looking at the athlete, you have to pay attention to some key factors, such as whether or not they're going to end up back in their sport, if it's something they still want to continue, how elite they're going to be in that sport and to what level, how much you're going to use the coach and the athletic trainer as part of that treatment team, and setting limits and timelines of various things related to checking their body weights, making sure it's appropriate to continue that sport, making sure their nutrition is maintained. So it takes an entire team plus that coach and athletic trainer to assist with that. Working with the adolescent athlete, we have to take into consideration their growth and development, and the fact that their bodies require many more calories than the adult or young adult athlete, given the fact that they're still growing and developing, and so that becomes a key issue as well. And in our female population, we have to look at the female athlete triad, which is consistent of osteoporosis and osteopenia or bone loss, disordered eating, as well as irregular menstrual cycles or a complete loss of menstrual cycles, which in long term can really have some detrimental effects to their health.